Welcome to the Creatives Rule the World podcast. Hey there, it's Tracy Matthews here. I am so excited to be here today for the first time calling this podcast Creatives Rule the World. Technically, you've been hearing me talk about it for a while. Now, I wanted to come in with a short and sweet episode for a very important reason to talk about this evolution, this rebrand, why we're doing this, and all the things. First and foremost, today is a very important day. It is May 18th. It is my mother's birthday. And for those of you who know anything about this, my mother passed away 32 years ago on April 15th, 1993, when she was 45 years old. She was about to embark on her next chapter in her life with the love of her life, a new business, all the things. And her life was taken from her overnight. And so I say this because this has been the why. Her death has been my guiding point, my guiding post for my entire career of why I do what I do. Because I truly believe that life is too short to not follow your dreams, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. And so when she passed away, I went on a mission to become an entrepreneur, and here we are 30 years later or something, and with this podcast rebrand. So I want to share a little bit of why I named the podcast Creatives Rule the World and the little backstory on that. So I wanted to create something that could be an umbrella and container for all of my brands. And I realized after 10 years of Thrive by Design, my beautiful podcast that I launched out into the podcasting world with as one of the top 0.5% podcasts out on the internet, out in the world, that people kept saying to me, Tracy, this podcast is not just for jewelry business owners. It's not just for product business owners. It's for anyone who runs a creative business. And I knew that, but because I was doing what everyone told me to do and staying in my lane and keeping in my niche and all the things, I kept that podcast just for jewelry designers for many, many years. And I had this inflection point where when I came up with the name for Creatives Rule the World, my other brand, and I was hosting the Thrive by Design series, I remember having a conversation with Harry Duran. Harry's a big podcast strategist, and he was telling me, we'll just drop a few Creatives Rule the World episodes in your Thrive by Design podcast. And I was like, no, I want them to be separate. And so I had this idea in my head, because I'm stubborn, that I wanted them to be separate for a very long time. But life happened, and I realized that I wasn't ever going to be able to do two podcasts at the same time, at least not in this capacity and how I'm showing up. Which is funny because I am going to be launching another podcast with my partner, Jason. That will be dropping soon, and you'll be hearing about it very shortly. Anyway, so in this process of evolution, in my rebrand and my reinvention, not only with all of my brands, with my personal brand, Flourish and Thrive Academy, and Creatives Rule the World, I decided the easiest thing to do was to just create one umbrella, because creativity is the thing that connects all of us, right? And my mission in life is to support people, because I truly believe that everyone out there is creative, regardless if you think you are or not. And it's your expression of creativity that will change the world, that will rule the world, that will solve all the problems, that will give you the most enlightenment and joy and energy, right? There is a reason that creativity is on the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs under self-actualization, because it is part of you actualizing who your full potential here on this earth. And so the name came from me being an attendee at a Brendon Burchard event many, many years ago. And he asked us, if you had a big, hairy goal without thinking about how you're going to get there, what would it be? And the first thing that popped in my mind was that I was going to have a TED Talk about creativity with 20 million views. Well, when I looked at it later, I didn't realize that Simon Sinek has like 20 million views, or Amy Cuddy, right? All these big TED Talks, right? So I didn't realize that that's how big they were, but I still hold that mission. Maybe someday I will have a TED Talk with 20 million views. And the name that dropped in initially was Creatives Run the World. Then I sat with it. I was like, I don't know, run the world? Do they run the world? And I got in my head, I'm like, do creatives run the world? I mean, everyone's creative, but is that what people would think? And so then it shifted to Creatives Rule the World, because I truly do believe that creativity is the driving force behind all positivity and everything innovative that comes out, right? It starts with being creative. And so I wanted to just share the journey of why I'm rebranding and what I'm calling in. And more than anything, what I really want to attract in this new chapter. first and foremost, thank you for being here. So my birthday is next week, May 21st, and I want to ask you a huge favor, because if you could give me any birthday gift, anything at all, it would be this. I would love for you to open up your phone right now and give this podcast a rating and review and share what you've enjoyed so far about not only Creatives Rule the World or Thrive by Design or anything that you've experienced for me that's positive. This would be one of the most beautiful things that you could do for me. And it really would be in alignment with the energy that I am calling in, because I'm calling in positivity. I'm calling in wealth for creatives. I'm calling in high vibe mindset. I'm calling in high energy. And we have so many amazing episodes already pre-recorded and batched for this new podcast. Your mind's going to be blown. In fact, even the episode that I dropped last week, this very high production quality with my friend Gia Wright, who's also a former student at Flourish and Thrive, you're going to see just incredible content that's being put out in the world on purpose. And I'm doing this in this way because I really want to go all in on this podcast now. And one of the ways that we get the podcast out in front of more people is with your ratings and reviews. So we've just rebranded it. It's in a new category, all the things. So I really, really appreciate that. And I'd love for you to take a screenshot and send it to me over on Instagram. I'm at I am Tracy Matthews. You can also find us at flourish_thrive. And then also make sure that you're following the at Creatives Rule the World feed over there, because we're going to be dropping all the podcast episodes and some fun stuff on that feed as well. So that would be an amazing birthday gift if you wouldn't mind sharing that with me. Now, I want to share more about what I'm calling in and what I am not calling, what's no longer available to me. So I'm calling in high vibe, high energy, people who really want to grow, people who are expansive, people who are ready to invest in their dreams. And what I mean by that, whether it's not necessarily about paying money for that, but investing in their dreams, taking the time to believe in themselves, and maybe investing some money by taking courses and programs or whatever that might be, to step up to live in their highest potential. Because as I mentioned before, creativity is part of your journey to become self-actualized on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Look it up. Anyway, I feel like I have marbles in my mouth, but we don't. Let's continue. What I am releasing is low vibe, starving artist, people who don't value what I have to offer, and people who don't value themselves enough to actually step into their highest expression of who they're becoming. And I say that with a loving heart. This has been a huge journey for me, realizing that people are on their own journey, and I can only help people who are willing to take responsibility for their outcomes. Naturally, as someone who has supported creatives for a long time, there is an underlying thing that happens sometimes with highly creative people where they're drawn more to listening to their subconscious mind and self-doubt and all these things. But there is another path forward, and that is reprogramming your mind. That is stepping into your highest expression of you. That is having the confidence and the boldness to overcome the belief systems that you have so that you can be fully expressed in your creativity. And so that's got to go. And if you're here for it, you're here for it. And if you're not, you're not. And that's totally cool. So if that's not what you want, if you want me to cater to a low vibe energy, that's not going to happen over here. And maybe this isn't the show for you anymore. But if you're ready for more high vibe energy, and you're ready to get a little woo with me, and you're also ready to have some tactical business strategy, and you're also ready to listen to founder stories of people who have done amazing things in their lives and really built thriving, successful businesses, being creative, then you're in the right place. I'm so excited about it, and I cannot wait for you. Now, one of the things that Thrive by Design taught me, and one of the things that I'm most proud of in that era, is just how many business owners in the jewelry space were ready to rise up and stand up. And I'm number one, proud of myself. We had over 532 episodes on that podcast. And that's impressive. That's a significant number of episodes, and it's a significant amount of work that I've put in. And so I'm really proud about that. I'm proud of the journey. I remember the first couple of episodes, I interviewed Ashley Longshore, who will certainly be back on the show. I've been trying to get her on the show, but I want to do it in person in New York. So Ashley Longshore was one of my first interviews. I talked about my grandfather on one of the first episodes. Just the journey that's been here. It's been remarkable, and I'm so proud of that. And over the last couple of years, I've been experiencing significant change. So around this time last year, part of this journey of creating everything under the same umbrella started at the end of 2023 when I got approached by some people who were considering partnering with my brand to help me scale it and to eventually sell the company. There was a big promise behind it and something didn't feel right. So I listened to that. And after several conversations, I stepped away and then I came back to it. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't a right opportunity for me. But I knew that my heart was craving more and I had to step in and stand out as this person who is speaking on a bigger stage. Because my passion is really, truly to help young people see a different path and understand that they have the power within them and the creativity within them to carve their own way. Things are changing so quickly with AI and all of the things that are happening in the world that now more than ever, you need that confidence. And in fact, Jason and I were talking about this the other day. There are a lot of young people who are out there who are, some of them are afraid to get their driver's license because it's scary. And it's a very common thing that people don't get their driver's license when they're 16. I'm like, why wouldn't you? Don't you want the freedom? Like, to me, that's crazy. Like 20-year-olds who don't drive yet. And then there are people out there who are in their early 20s, 20 years old, making $100 million. It's like this huge disparity. And so what I want to do is to be able to create like a bridge in between of people who don't necessarily care about making $100 million in a month or a year or whatever it is. More than anything, they want to lean into their creativity and express their gifts and step into their most wealthiest creative self that's in alignment with who they are, right? That's always been my mission, getting into alignment with your version of success. And so last year around my birthday, well, actually right before that, at the end of April, I hosted a retreat called Creative Force of Nature. And I may have another one this year, but I might be postponing it to 2026 just because of timing and all of the work that I'm facing in this rebrand and everything. But right after that, I was speaking at an event with Kathy Heller and I was a hot mess the entire time. I don't know if it was the moon or just knowing that I needed to shift. At that event, at my retreat that I hosted, one of the attendees, there were actually several of the attendees wanted to do a hot seat for me and they asked me to speak. And I spoke candidly at the risk of them all jumping ship about how I was really feeling about what I was doing, how I felt out of alignment and how this didn't feel like me anymore. And it was time to move on, but I didn't want to let people down. And that's really the truth, that I have been operating from a place of people pleasing for about 2 to 3 years, not doing what's right for me. And this is completely out of alignment because my number one thing that I teach everyone is to build a business that supports their version of success, and I'm not living it. And so I had a meltdown at this event, and I remember tears streaming down my face, all these things, not being able to even keep it together, crying all day, and then hummingbirds coming from all over. So many stories about this, which I'll share in another episode. Until I saw the 5th hummingbird one day, I'm like, okay, this is a sign. It's time for your pivot. I had to make a choice. Like, I was extremely burned out. I knew that it was time for something new and fresh and exciting. And I had to shift my own identity. I had to do the thing that I teach other people to do in order to step into my highest good. And when you do that, when you step out into the unknown, even if you can't see the path forward, every step you take will start to illuminate as you walk, step by step by step, even if you aren't sure. And that's exactly what I did here. And so my new vision for Creatives Rule the World and my personal brand and Flourish and Thrive Academy is more expansive. So I am here to support people who want to become wealthy creatives. And if that's you, let's do this. So I am very excited about this, and primarily because my mission is to support people in their highest expression, right? And when you are fully supported financially, when you are fully supported creatively, when you are doing your life's work, when you are stepping out into courageously to do the things that you are here to do, everyone lifts up. Society becomes better. And that's what this is all about. And so this show is going to be different than the old one, primarily because we're going to be opening up to more types of conversations with creatives. In fact, I have episodes batched all the way through the summer. So I have some incredible interviews lined up with creatives who have sold companies, who have longstanding companies, who are just thriving. People who are talking about their internal challenges, how to shift your identity, so much more. And you are going to be blown away. It's going to be part mindset, part business strategy, and part woo. And I'm here for it. I hope you're here for it. So this is all. I just wanted to share a little bit more about my new vision. And my main mission here is that this show isn't just about, you making money. It's about you truly stepping into who you are as a creative. It's stepping into you being in your full purpose and flow. It's stepping into you building a business without burning out and shining brighter, right? Instead of just trying to follow some random blueprint that you're told to do. It's about living fully expressed as you're supposed to be. So, yes, I have some great episodes coming up the pipeline. And a lot of people have been asking me, am I still going to talk about jewelry businesses? Yes, but it's going to be open up to all types of businesses. So we have some really incredible episodes coming up the pipeline. And I'm very excited because on my birthday, May 21st, I am interviewing my friends Felicia Romero and Annette Aron. They are incredible entrepreneurs who are just so high vibe and so fun. We're talking about female friendships in business and also being authentic and showing up as you, and also the challenges of being a high vibe woman in life, in your real relationships at home, and how that really manifests out into the world. Then we're going to be talking with one of my mentors, Lindsay Marie. Lindsay is someone that I've been following for a while, and I just recently went to her expanders retreat, and she's going to be talking about her process for community building. And she is truly an expert at this. She hosted an event last summer that had 800 people at it. So she knows how to create community. And it's just a great conversation. You're going to love it. I also have other incredible interviews in the pipeline with my friend Scotia, Shamika Dean, Anna Lozano, and so much more. So stay tuned. It's going to be great. We have incredible episodes coming in the pipeline. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart that you are in the right place. And thank you for listening to the show, because it is my belief that creatives rule the world and you are here to live an epic life. Ciao for now.